Right, the final deck or division we're going to be looking at is the K.D.A Bezirk Erfurt, which is kind of like some sort of local command or local militia forces, local kind of reserves, I suppose, to a certain extent, or National Guard units for America. I guess the best comparison to these guys. So another Eastern German, the final Eastern German division, and the final Warsaw Pact division. Maybe look over, have a look at units. So we've seen some of these units. This is the first time we've actually seen a Euro, I think, in these German divisions. It's normally been these trucks and the small little MT. So it's pretty cool. We've actually got a Euro vehicle now, an option. So that's 1,000 supply, and then we can get the more expensive one as well. So that's actually a really good combination. Having those two. The BTR 50 PU, nice. Just standard CV. And you got Uaz in this one, and the BRDM 2, nice. Just your standard CVs to get around, as you've seen. And this one actually has the MI-26 as well. It looks like there's a lot more emphasis on the supply, logistics, and the artillery and stuff like that on this one, potentially, because it's got more of an array of options in regards to the larger size of supplies. And it's got the MTLB munitions as well, so it's got quite a large array of supplies. We'll probably see that in the artillery section. There's more support options. Right, infantry. Let's have a look what we got here. So we've got the VPV command units here, just literally probably the most cheapest and standard infantry unit you can probably get as command. I probably would never even use these just because of the weapon system. They're not going to be any good in defending themselves, but like I said, you can use them for yourself and your deck to use them to get around the battlefield quickly, set up command, and you can just, they're cheap, so you can just quickly get a lot of them out there if need be. Just to fill space. So if you want a gap in your deck and you just want to fill it with something, maybe these could be an option to put in there, but ideally I'd say kind of go for something a little bit more power, such as the Spetsnaz command, which is only like 20 more points. Next, you have the VPB, just your standard infantry group. Apparently they're excellent. I'm not seeing that relating with the stats and weapons, maybe because suppressed not great. I don't know how they're so good. So weapon systems to me says they're a bit meh. I'm not too sure. Stealth's good, ops is normal. Interesting. Alright, SPG 9, we've seen this before as well. You have a Dex. Nice. Generation 14. Fagot and the Concours. Concours obviously the better one out of the two. Same again across the board again. So you've seen these in every single division. Just different skins. You can see a little bit of difference there between the weapon systems is the length, and that increases the range of the weapon system itself. So it allows you to have that option. So, but you're looking at 50 more points. Uaz 469 SPG 9. I've seen this as well. It's pretty much the similar units to the other division we've just gone through. The Eastern German units, literally the same. So Spetsnaz command, Spetsnaz OP. These guys are pretty good. I like these weapon systems. I used these ones games recently and they are pretty good to defend, and they're quite cheap to get on the battlefield, and they're good to set up on your rear defensive line. Spetsnaz units 12 men in this. Look at the size of this unit. Like this is I think the max you can get an American unit is 11 units, so this is quite a good size, 12, so probably really good to use on the battlefield actually, and clearing forests and whatnot. So these are pretty good units. Loving the style and the models here as well. Got some of hoodies, trainers on, loving it. The berets looks really good, really good. Pioneer command, the RPG, nice, not a bad unit as well. Then you got your pioneers and the flamethrower pioneers. We'll yet to use these guys as well. It'll be interesting to see what these guys are like on the battlefield. Mocha Schutens command, another little cheap command you can potentially use. Would like that actually, my commander to have an RPG at least, so they can defend themselves against a enemy light armored vehicle or something, just in case. You never know what it could be sent to search out for your command units. Next, the Motor Schusten infantry. Not bad infantry at all actually. Good price as well for what you're getting. LMG and the anti-tank. Obviously your assault rifles there as well. And they're not bad. They've got 7 men. It's not a bad unit. K.D.A command. Probably not the best. Really cheap. Actually not really cheap, sorry. They're about 10 points cheaper than the other one. What's called? The Multi-Schützen command. Let's just pin this and have a look. Because in comparison, you're getting an RPG as well for an extra 10 points. Which can go a long way and defend themselves. So always ideally be best to try and have these guys with an RPG. Or some sort of anti-tank weapon system. Next to K.D.A Schutzen infantry, 14 strength. That is the biggest number I've seen actually now. I thought 12 was, now it's 14. Nice. Excellent infantry unit, which as you can see there, it's really good. Normal optics speed's not bad as well. Come with LMG, RPG as well. So that's a pretty good bit of kit. That is a good unit to select and have your deck. If you was to be using this deck, I'd advise taking these guys. we got next? We got the Panzerjägers. Really good RPGs there. 20 penetration each, and you got 2 of them. That'd be a really good unit to defend against armoured vehicles or any sort of attack. If a few of these guys held up in the town, if they try and push with infantry fighting vehicles or tanks, they're going to have a very bad day. And finally, we have the Motorschützen SMG, one of the best ones in this deck, along with the K.D.A Schützen. So these guys can have a PKM instead and a RPG 18. Nice, so a good combination there. But there's only 7 of them. But they have got some better weapon systems. That's pretty cool to see. Alright, let's look at the artillery, which seems to be the main focus in this deck. It's more support sort of things. So we have the mortars, which we've seen before, the M43 120, D30 howitzer, nice, a D20 howitzer, and a 130mm howitzer as well. So what is the comparison? 130, 152. Get a lot more range, 28,000 meter range. That's good. That is a lot. The high explosive isn't as good as the 152 meter, but it's got a lot more better range. Out of these two, personally, I would go for the 152. The range is, you're saving 10,000 meters, but you're getting that massive high explosive and a suppression. A lot better. But it's up to you. If you rather keep your men very far back at the battlefield, then obviously go for the 130. The MFRW RM70 cluster and the high explosive, we've seen these are really good vehicle, rocket launch systems that I want to use at some point. Pretty cool. 8 rockets. Malkia and the Smirch, seen these. So there's actually a selection all of the artillery pieces you want. So it's a really good choice for artillery, this deck. It's kind of like your support division in Wargame Red Dragon. Right, next got the Uaz Fagot Sulcus. Nice, seen this before. That's pretty good use. Nice and cheap to get around. You can set loads up and just defense, which is good. A Command PT-76B, which is really good actually. It's quite cheap for a vehicle, command vehicle of this stature, having a tank gun and a medium machine gun. Nice, not bad actually. Then you've got the same thing in the non-command format, but it's only 30 points. That's pretty cheap. It's not bad actually. You can get some recon ones of that as well. T-34. And this is an old bit of kit. This is going to be used for literally just throwing at enemy, really. On an assault, for example, you want to use this just to send it at the front, just to be a bullet sponge. Then again, it can also be good against infantry. It can take out infantry units and defense, but in the grand scheme of things, on its own, this thing is pretty weak. It's not going to be your deciding vehicle that's going to break through, but you can utilized it with other units, and it can be effective. Next, we've got the Pak D44 85mm tank gun, and then the 100mm tank gun with also the ground-to-ground missile 2800, which is pretty cool. I used this before. Make sure you collect transport. Buy a transport, because I got this in the game and it kind of just got spawned at the back of the map, deployed, and it actually walked all the way to the front of the map. I never got it in time because it just took too long. Because their speed is 9 km per hour, which is ridiculously slow, obviously, because they're pushing a massive gun just to them. So make sure you have a transport vehicle for that. Just make sure you check before you select a new division. Next is the BRDM2 as well, with a different type of HGM on top now. This is a Mayutka. That's pretty cool. That actually lowers into the vehicle itself to keep it secure. That's pretty awesome. I like that. That's a pretty nice looking vehicle actually. Done a really cool job. Good range as well. And then the Concours, which is on top, which is actually in the tubes itself, which is put a better one out of them, but it's not as, it's like double the price. Just compare them both quick at a higher level. Both got similar, both got the same range? You both got the same range. Wait, no, cancel that. There we go. The Concours. Both got the same range. Penetration is 4 more on the Concours, and the accuracy is a little bit better as well. But for double the price, you're not getting too much, I suppose, isn't it? Like, that's Malyutika, if that's how you pronounce it. Tika, it could be actually that. It's not actually a bad thing to purchase. Not a bad price for what it is. Get a few of those and then you're laughing. Next, we've got the T55A. Seen these before. T55A. And then we've got some T62s now in the deck. That's nice because you've seen T72s, so now we've got some T62s in this division. That's pretty cool. Not a bad tank. It's good to use in groups or defending against infantry fighting vehicles, but one of the tanks, you know, you need this is not really the greatest vehicle. And a T62M, once again, not bad weapon systems itself. The gun's not the greatest, but the armor's not great either, but it's got a capability of having that long range engagement. But this decks are not all about the tanks anyway, it's more about the support and infantry, I suppose. Alright, cool, that's the tanks covered. Next, we got a PT-76B in our first recon vehicle. A nice tank gun. These are pretty good, actually. I've used these as well. They're pretty good to set up in and around tree lines and assist and shooting vehicles and infantry. They're not bad, actually. BRDM2s, you know, standard little recon vehicle. Nice heavy machine gun now, which is good to take out infantry and helicopters as well. Of Clara, that's how you pronounce that. The standard recon infantry, exceptional stealth, and very good optics. These guys are good just to get out on the battlefield. Nice. MI2 and the Spetsnaz GRU we have. Nice. That's not a bad bit of unit actually to have for recon. Really good. Exceptional stealth again, very good optics, and some really good weapon systems here actually. A really good RPG 27 actually. That RPG is phenomenal actually. Good range. Axe is good as well. So he's actually really good at taking out vehicles at a distance to a certain extent. Obviously between tree line to tree line, or defending wood blocks, or pushing onto, or defending towns and pushing onto objectives and whatnot. It's a pretty good bit of kit to use to try and disrupt and sabotage certain vehicles. So, and it got 6 rounds of it as well. So you could probably potentially take out 6 vehicles potentially, depending on how good you are and how much you micromanage them. Nice, good selection of recon units there actually. Right, for our Aaa Anti-Air, we've got the Strela 2M. Not bad, just standard little air. SF2M missile there. Good, I like how cheap they are as well. You can get quite a lot of these dotted around the map, and it does make a big difference getting a lot of these round. Because, you know, aircraft and helicopters like to use not the most obvious routes and like to get around the enemy. So having these dotted around the map in random locations is good, and because they're cheap, you can do that. Next, the ZU-23-2 Flak Anti-Air Gun. Nice. Good as well. Make sure you can drop them out on the map and put them around places. Not the most expensive. It's good to just have dotted around. Flak SFL F or 572, sorry. Anti-air gun. Not bad. Actually, a bit of kit. Actually, it's got some good stats. It's got a lot of ammunition as well. Supply is not too bad. Distance isn't the greatest for helicopters, but it can do. It's got really good front, rear, and side armor actually for what it is. So it could actually take a hit or two, some small arms. So not bad. It's survivable, so it could be quite effective. They've got the OSA AKM. Nice surface-to-air missile. I've been using these as well. These are pretty good. I've used the deck. Helicopter's range is pretty good, 2825. So that actually gives you a benefit. That's if some NATO aircraft or anything like that has the 2,800 meter range on their ATGMs, such as the Apache, I think has that. You can outrange it, and the I can't remember what other helicopters have that. The Kia Warrior maybe potentially has that as well. But at least you can outrange it by 25 meters, so it's not a lot. But at least it can engage first, potentially, before that engages, and that might make a big difference, hopefully. But knowing that, if you hit Kia Warrior one-shot this, it might take it out. An Apache would take 2 of these, so maybe having these grouped together would be a more beneficial thing to have. The 9K37 Buckmore M1. Good range here, 2825 again, really good against aircraft. Nice bit of kit, that, actually. You've got to bear in mind it is radar-guided missiles. Next are helicopters. We've got the Mi-8MT Gov, which has the Gatling guns. A grenade launcher as well, actually. That's pretty cool. I've not seen that one before. This thing will be ruthless against infantry. That's probably one of the best helicopters to infantry I've seen, actually. You've got a Gatling gun, grenade launcher, and air-to-ground rockets. That will flatten units. Even if you use all the rockets, you've got the Gatling guns and the grenade launcher that can do damage. Just the grenade launcher alone is ruthless. And that all combined, that's a deadly helicopter to use just against infantry. Nice, I love that a lot. Love it. Rocket 2, we've seen this before. Badass, 64 rockets in each rocket pod. So that's pretty badass. Oh, so it's actually 32 per rocket pod, and you've got 6 rocket pods in total. It's pretty cool. Mi-88, nice, got a good combination. It's actually an excellent aircraft with air to ground, 96 rockets. Pretty cool. Malyutka. 2625, 6 of those as well. It's got really heavy machine gun. The Mi-24P AT2, another excellent helicopter as well. We've seen this multiple times as well in the other divisions. It's kind of an all-rounder. I've also got all-cannon ground-to-air missiles and air-to-ground rockets. It's a shame we haven't got an Aaa helicopter. That would have been really good, but we've got pretty much everything else we need. In anything out of all these, I would definitely like to be using this. Just make sure you get this really good against infantry. If you like to use helicopters against infantry, that is, I would recommend using this. Right, what do we have next? So the MiG-21 Biz Rocket 2. Nice air-to-ground rockets for those, as you can see there. Pretty good, quite high explosive, good suppression rate, and a really good range actually. 3,500. For the price, pretty good. MiG-21 high explosive, 4 rockets, or 4 bombs, should we say, sorry. Nice. MiG-23 MF AT. Selection as well, actually. We've got 2 rockets, penetration is 30. Actually, is not the greatest, again. And actually, if you... Where's the AT gone? Here it is. Even 43%, it's not even a massive boost in accuracy if you even upgrade the rank, which sucks a little bit, which does question whether or not a better hit. So, I don't know. Potentially something you could use. It's up to you how you want to use your tactics. High explosive MiG-27. Nice bombs there. Then the AT version as well. Another 2 rockets there. A little more better actually out of the MiG-27 and the MiG-23. It looks like potentially the MiG-27 would be a better choice. We're looking at penetration both 30 and both of their rockets. The suppressor's better. The range is a little bit better on the MiG-23 to the MiG-27. But you're getting that much better accuracy. It's up to you really. I suppose it also depends on the scenario, but obviously you don't know that until you're in the battlefield. So in this scenario I would go for the MiG-27. It's a little bit more expensive, so that kind of reflects that it is a little bit better. And just the accuracy, knowing that you might hit 57%, you might be able to take out two units of that, whereas the MiG-23 might be able to take 1 if you're lucky. Su-17, what's this? Rocket pods, nice, 20, and it can defend itself. Not a bad bit of kit actually. This might be a good aircraft to use because I was using, I think the Rocket 2 in one of the games, and I purchased 2 of them to use to help out taking out ground targets. They were good to take out the ground targets, but I needed the needed some aircraft to take out some helicopters. But I had no aircraft purchased at that time that had AA. But if I purchased this version, or had this version equipped in my division, I could have sent in for a strike on the ground and then also taken out a helicopter with two infrared missiles. So definitely an option to look at. Anti-radiation missiles seed, Su-24, nice. I think it's the first seed one I've seen in the East German decks actually. Penetration 28, you get 2 rockets, not bad actually as well, 50%. And a napalm version as well. That's a big napalm aircraft, that 500 kilograms times 6. It's pretty badass. And then another one there, 8 times 500 kilograms unguided bombs, Fab 500s, nice. And then with a cluster option, awesome. So it looks like this deck primarily focuses on your support aircraft and support artillery and logistics, really. Which kind of makes sense to a certain extent because of what deck it is. But that's cool, nice. Some really decent kit and equipment in this deck actually. So yeah, that's the East. That is all the Warsaw Pact divisions covered now. So we start moving on to NATO in the next videos. But yeah, some really cool, interesting kit and equipment to be fair. And I really look forward to seeing most of it out on the play now, on the battlefield. Alright, hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next one.